Nowadays, isolation almost became a big problem for the society and situation through everyone past, especially the young. But the question is still one that why people fall into isolation and how they overcame. For this, we have decided to talk about this issue and try to find some solutions together with 3 guests. But by the way, welcome to Mind Show. I'm Sharon and I'm with Alice, who will also be with us this time.
Yes, thank you, Sharon. I'm very excited for the topic of today, and I hope everyone can enjoy. So now we are going to talk about isolation problem with 3 guests. This time we could listen guest story, how they overcome isolation and why they became isolated. Also, our viewers could share their story through Facebook comments. So, let's begin our talk show. Welcome, our first guest. His name is Kevin, and he is a taekwondo teacher in IYF Rwanda organization.
Thank you for having me. I'm so thankful to be invited in this talk show.
So, what is isolation for you exactly? Or what do you mean by isolation briefly?
I want to say that the meaning of isolation is to stay alone without conversation with other people.
According to you, what are the reasons that can make people in isolate situation?
Actually, we can suffer this commonly. We can be isolated by others easily. So I want to tell you some places where someone can experience isolation. There are not only schools, company, academy, but also many other places where you find people staying with others. We can see easily people in those places being in isolation. So I want to say that according to the heart of people, when don't like someone, they can make someone to be isolated. It means that it is not caused by some places, some environment, but it's according to the emotions of people.
Your answers will help us to understand our topic more easily. So, let's invite our second guest. Her name is Emma, and she is a volunteer in IYF Rwanda.
Hello everyone! I'm very glad to meet you in this talk show and to share my experience with all of you.
Have you ever felt into situation of isolation? If yes, what were the reasons and how did you overcome this?
During my period of voluntary service, there were 5 women volunteers. One day I had a problem with one of them. At the time I couldn't know and understand why she was angry with me. That's why we didn't talk and ignored each other for 1 month. At first time, I tried to approach her, but every time I failed. And finally, I gave up solving that problem. Since that time, one thought arose in my heart. That thought is, wherever she is, I can't approach her because she hates me. So I couldn't approach even other people when they were together with her. Eventually, this thought made me stay alone and became an obstacle of having conversation between me and other people. While I felt lonely, I talked about this with our leader. Before I thought that I felt isolation because of them. But during the conversation we had, I could realize that I always made myself isolated due to that thought. And my thought is just my thought. It was not true. After discovering what made me isolated and closed my heart toward others, I could overcome that isolation situation in my heart and got a brave heart to go freely to other people, even the volunteer who had a problem with me. Finally, I got an opportunity to talk to her and I could solve that problem.
Thank you, Emma. For the last, let's invite our third guest, Andrew. He is a Korean language teacher in IYF, Rwanda.
Thank you for introduction. I am very thankful that there is such program so that many youth can change their mind and think in a positive way.
Which situation can you give to those who are feeling isolated and don't know how to overcome it?
I want to say to those who are isolated, I had experienced isolation in my life. In my case, I had trouble with my parents. My parents always drank alcohol and they always shouted and beat me. Even they say to me, let us just commit suicide. It is so terrible. Even though it happened long time ago, I was always tied down by this situation. So, when I was living with my parents, I was feeling isolated. But do you know, now I already overcame this isolation. Are you curious to know how I could overcome this isolation? It is so easy. The only way is to have conversation. Through conversation, you can receive others and your heart can easily flow with them. Even me, although I had a trauma, that's why I had fear to talk to them, but after I had a chance to talk to them, I could know their hearts. Therefore, I could overcome this isolation. So, through conversation, I hope you can make a step and overcome your isolation. Thank you for listening to my opinion.
Now, let's finish from here. I hope through this time everyone could get the solution of their isolation problems.
Yes, I also hope this talk show will be helpful to our viewers.
Thank you for watching our talk show video. I want to give our viewers a short announcement. You can also visit our IYF page and send your opinion about today's topic.
Yes, you can also send the new topic on our talk show.
See you next time!